There's been a relief for me seeing someone like Ibrahim Traore. Just seeing that one country in Africa is smart enough and confident enough, and the leader is teaching their people and leading their people and like making policies and making moves that shows that these people are about to take off. We can all feel it that this country is about to take off. Just give them 5 to 10 years, they will take off.
Another one was about Megan Thee Stallion and she showing too much underboob.
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference? Like, there's boob is boob. Like, you're gonna show underboob, side boob, like cleavage. Like, it's all just bits of boob. Like, for some reason, underboob is supposed to be worse than cleavage. Either.
When it comes to the boobs, I think the nipple is king, though.
The nipple is king. I love. So we've been on the subject for a little while now, but what I wanted to get to is like things I've just seen in just today in the media. Like, there's been a few awards shows over the last couple of weeks.
Cool.
And like award shows, red carpet, and what seems to be reported on most is what women are wearing and whether it's appropriate or not, which seems wild to me in this stage. Existence. Like, there's at the porn awards. I don't know if I've told you this, but at the porn awards, there's this that there was a controversy, or there was suggesting that there were too many bums out. Like, these people do it for a living. Like, they're naked for a living. Yeah,
that's what they do, right? That's
what it's there for. They're there to stand out. And how are you going to stand out a bunch of people who are very confident with their bodies? They're going to let them have their ass out.
So, like, what are they expecting, like, porn stars to do in the porn award too?
Yeah, rock up and, like, this was do your porn. We appreciate the porn, but outside of that, look like Mormons. Like, I don't understand. That's a crime.
They expecting the porns to dress like nuns and reverend sisters in the news you're talking about. Is it mainly from the right wing? Or?
I mean, possibly. I think it was news.com that had like 3 different outfits, like 3 different articles about whether women wearing certain things on the red carpet is appropriate.
Yeah, because
at the end of the day, no matter what the awards show is for, it's a performer trying to stick out amongst performers. Yeah,
because I would think it's from the right wing. I'm actually not right wing or left wing. I prefer to stay center. But it's always the right wing that's telling people how to dress, how to be masculine, how to be feminine. And I don't know. I think there was a time I did listen to them a lot, but to see that they're kind of like back in the position of power in some countries, and to see that they focus on such kind of news, telling like porn stars what to wear. I mean, we're not here glorifying porn, whatever, but if that's what they do, then we expect them to wear outfit that's like, kind of like makes me feel like I kind of feel like the right wing sometimes can be. You can sense their hypocrisy sometimes too. What would you expect porn stars to wear?
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't care. Wear whatever you want. Like, it goes back to dichotomy of like a woman, which is, the ideal of a woman is either she's a whore or a nun, and there's no in between. Now women are expected to be both. Like, they do their job on camera.
Be a pawn outside that, but when
you're not doing
then porn, dress appropriately.
You are absolutely not supposed to be naked in any form.
Yeah, but
not enjoy.
I want us to pause a little bit on the right wing news and all that, and swing a bit to the left wing. What would the left wing say in a situation like that?
I have no idea what the left wing would say, but like me, just
you're left wing, so
I am left wing, but I can't speak for all of us. I think just wear whatever you want, and as long as you're not hurting anyone. Like, nakedness is rarely hurting anyone.
Well, that's what the left wingers say. You just said it now. That's how it. And look, in certain situation, I wouldn't care I wouldn't care about what anyone would say. In this particular situation, I think I'll side with the left wing, because we're talking about, I think, porn award, right?
Yeah,
And you shouldn't tell, let's say, rap artists, for instance, what to wear, because that's how they like to dress. So I think, for me, that's why I really don't like taking a side with any of the blogs. This is total stupidity. And the funny thing about the people they target is actually that's another angle of about the topic, is actually the black ones that they really target.
Yeah, 100%. And it I think it's much worse for, like, another one was about Megan Thee Stallion, and she showing too much underboob.
Yeah.
But what's the difference? Like, there's boob is boob. Like, you're gonna show underboob, side boob, like cleavage. Like, it's all just bits of boob. Like, for some reason, underboob is supposed to be worse than cleavage. Like, it seems silly, and it's dumb to, you know, be all up in arms about underboob, but, you know, be a huge fan of cleavage, or like a deep V that goes beyond the belly button or whatever. Like, and it's not even up to us.
Yeah, but
like, two dudes discussing women's fashion.
I think that
great either.
when it comes to the boobs, I think the nipple is king, though.
The nipple is king. I love.
You love the nipple.
Up there. Well done. Well done to the nipple.
When you show that, then that's you're showing everything.
Yeah.
But look, personally, anyone that wants to dress the way they should dress, as long as kids are not involved, as long as you're not projecting it on kids, I don't give a fuck how people dress. I don't
think anyone's projecting anything on kids. Like, these people are at an awards show for
No, I'm not talking about the award show. I'm saying in general in life, I think people should dress anyhow they want to dress.
Yeah.
I've actually been to I went to the shopping mall one day. I went to, I think it was in one of the big supermarkets to get an item, and I saw a lady walking, and the way she was really dressed, like, I saw a young boy looking at her, like, and I didn't like the sight of that, because she was, bro, she she really had nothing on, bro. She literally had nothing on, and, you know, walked into the supermarket, and this 5 or 6 years old boy was just staring and looking. And
I think that is puritanical nonsense. Like, we're all naked. Like, we're all born naked and we all die naked. Like, and anything else, like the appropriateness comes from religion. Like, even in, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The Bible, it was even in the Bible where it says they were fine being naked until they learned they were naked.
Are you bringing in the Adam and Eve thing? Yeah. Bro, let's not get this into the Bible, man. You're trying to justify, bro. We're born naked, we die naked, but we are living beings, and as living beings, we become aware of our bodies and all that, and we dress up. You know, we have to cover a certain part. But like I'm saying, I don't have an issue whatever you want to wear. I just think these days social media projects a lot of things that are really inappropriate on kids. But I still don't care how people want to dress and live their life. That's not my problem. My problem is sometimes the media blows these things up sometimes. Like, many people will not be talking about this topic.
And it's for clickbait.
Yeah, many people will not be talking about this.
Rage baiting.
Many people will not be talking about criticizing Megan Thee Stallion if the media didn't bring it up, you know.
Yeah.
That's that gala night would have been, whatever these people are wearing would have, they would have worn it to their award show and it would have been over. But the media sometimes like clickbait. They like to target certain people as scapegoats. Yeah. And that's the media bias in this whole thing we're talking about.
Do you think there's more pressure for black artists to dress in a certain way?
Yeah, there is. It's just visible. It's there. And the hypocrisy is just like, it's just very disgusting, bro. It's, while I would not wear whatever Jaden Smith is wearing or 3000 is wearing. That's his name, right? Andre 3000, right? Yeah, he's a legend. But while I would not wear all that, like, while I would look at it and be like, what the fuck is this? I think the media is a bit too harsh on black artists when they do the same thing that their counterparts do. The media is just too harsh on them. Like, they are not even allowed to express themselves. Many people see through it. It's just stupid, man. Who cares if he's carrying a piano on his back and all that shit, wearing an outfit, you know?
It's a statement, but like, it's a statement that, he's trying to promote his music.
Yeah.
That could be a positive way, but to be like, discuss him and his music, because this is what he's trying to put out there.
Yeah, honestly, it's sad to see, man. Like when you see the news and all that, and they criticize this artist, the first thing that comes to your mind, especially being someone that's black too, the first thing that comes to mind is like, bro, you can't place this fucking Western media, bro. You can't.
Yeah.
Like the best way to be safe is just not to do anything.
Yeah. And I think that has controlled male fashion for a long time as well. Like, because, you see like this fear of being accused
Being
of
judged.
Homosexuality a lot in male fashion, because like as soon as someone steps out of that idea, they are harshly criticized and everybody's trying to find out their sexual identity. Like when Harry Styles was dressing flamboyantly, he looked great. It was fun. Dressing fun isn't for men, apparently.
There's this big, he's not an Afrobeat artist, he's a high life artist. He's from Nigeria, his name is Flavor. And Flavor dresses like, his dressing style sometimes can look feminine. But no one talks about Flavor, because Flavor is one of those guys we really love, because he stands out. He's the only one that like represents his style of music. His style of music is kind of like old school Nigerian music, old school Igbo music, and he's the only one that represents it like in modern time. So he's done certain hits that are like played all over the world. But when Flavor dresses, tries to like explore new styles of fashion and all that. When he puts on this dress, I see it sometimes. I'll be like, bro, this looks feminine as fuck. But I don't want to say anything because I really like him. Yeah. And I think it's just him expressing himself as an artist. That's what one side of me would tell me, being someone who's a centrist. And the other side would be like, man, bro, this shit is gay as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
But I think it's stupid when people sit down and judge them. I could actually be someone expressing themselves artistically, but on the other hand, it could also there's also this I would say, I don't know if I'll call them conspiracy theorists, that would argue that it's the powers that be in the entertainment industry that forces them to wear this outfit and all that. So it's like I kind of like sit in between. Deep down, I feel like these guys are just trying to be artistic, but there's also this other side to the story where people be like, they're being forced by the industry to showcase themselves in certain ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as an artist, especially an artist that's trying to make a living off being an artist, which is, supposed to be the ideal for us all, you want to stand out. We have to stand out in any way we can to try and get that. I think that's a good way to do it, is by someone's going to comment on your clothes. Yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, but who is he? Yeah. I think that is a part of the media as well. Getting back on specific topic, like the media bias of black artists, how they're represented, and how, like, especially when they do bad things. Like some artists, like with the Diddy trial.
Diddy, R. Kelly, yeah.
How does that feel like? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's look, there's some artists that do bad and some do some it's like you just know it's all accusation. R. Kelly, Diddy, these guys did bad things, right? Mm-hmm. And people like Prince and Michael Jackson, you can't really point a finger at the certain things. Like there's no we're not certain, especially with Michael Jackson, like the things they said he did, because there's a lot of confessions in recent time. But I don't want to look at there's been confessions from people, young kids back then, that be like, Michael Jackson didn't actually touch me. I was forced by my parents to.
Oh,
yeah,
there's been, heard any of this.
Yeah, I've heard like one confession.
I would love to be able to listen to Billie Jean again.
Yeah, so we're focusing on media bias, so we're not talking about if this artists are right or wrong. Yeah. We're looking at it from the color perspective, and in the music industry, in Hollywood and all that, in the acting industry, we'll witness that what some of these artists have done, their white counterparts sometimes even do that and do more. Yeah. But it's so crazy, like that black artists are always the scapegoat. Like these things are obvious. I'm not crying foul play. I don't give a fuck. These artists don't feed me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just when you sit back and look at the media and the way they represent artists of, various races, especially in the United States, or like I was saying, the Western world, it's pretty obvious that when Michael Jackson speaks about a certain group of people, all of a sudden he started having all these cases here and there. When Prince was trying to educate young black artists on how to own their masters, and boom. crazy.
Yeah. When you start fucking with the money,
Yeah.
that's when they start coming after you.
Diddy was feeling untouchable. He was doing some shitty things. He's done a lot of shitty things, but he was feeling untouchable. Yeah, he was trying to start a political party. Boom. Yeah. But no one would tell me that Diddy's case and the whole thing they were involved was an isolated thing, like in the isolated activity in the United States. A lot of people, like in the music industry, in the film industry, especially that are like white, I feel like have been doing similar things that Diddy was doing and did worse, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, you can't separate like Diddy from Epstein, and like the connections are so close. Like, Diddy is Black Epstein, from what I understand. Like the dude didn't need an island because he had the island of New York.
Diddy's Black Epstein. That's a good one. Yeah.
So like it's like it is portrayed like Diddy got away with it for a long time as well.
Yeah.
Like he just, it's the same with Pablo Escobar. He could have got away with dealing cocaine and being a billionaire for so long, and it's politics. It fucks you.
Yeah.
It's fucking with the money.
Just conclude like what you said. It's Diddy's actually Black Epstein, and what Diddy and some of his friends and people he associates did is nothing compared to what Epstein or some other people would have done. Like, it's just there has to be a scapegoat, and especially at that time, at that period in time when that was leading to the American, who was going to be the next president of America. They had the election coming up. They needed something to sell. They needed a scapegoat, and Diddy was that one that fitted into what, he's black, he's done a lot of shit things. It's the one they could really sell that's the news they could sell to the world to like quench the Epstein, the demand for them to release.
You think it's partly a distraction?
It distracted people and it worked. This thing the media would always be one of the most important tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did a great job in making sure they used the Diddy case was just ideal. It was the ideal news that they needed to like expose at that time to get people to stop demanding for the Epstein list.
I mean, because even though the Epstein list came out, like it was something that Trump released in his first couple of days in office, it wasn't anything new. There wasn't anything new in those files.
Yeah.
It was everything that were already known.
Yeah.
Just put out by the government rather than the media. And then there's just like, it was a select group of people were given it, and then they're like, wait, this is not new information. And so
the media would always win. It takes people that ask deep questions, and that the questions every report they see to know that the media is full of shit. So the media would always win. They always will. So Diddy really worked well for the elites at that point, because exposing Diddy was what they needed to distract the people, and it worked well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the difference between government media and government propaganda is nothing. Like, is a veil. One
thing I wanted to discuss, and that still revolves around the hypocrisy of the media, and it's the case or the story of Ibrahim Traore. Being someone who's African and knowing how tough it is in the West, like how people would look at you sometimes, and you have to like develop a tough skin not to let it affect you, because that's the only way you survive here. If you have a soft mind, being someone that's from Africa, the environment will tear you apart. But seeing all the things that's being said about my kind in the media, and then knowing that knowing that the Western structure is like involved in what's happening in Africa. A lot of people know, but a lot of people are like blind to it, and they just judge like, you people are shit, you people don't know how to govern yourself, because that's the propaganda that the media has projected about Africans. There's been a relief for me seeing someone like Ibrahim Traore. At least it's not even from my country, but just seeing that one country in Africa is smart enough and confident enough, their leader is teaching their people and leading their people and like making policies making moves that shows that these people are about to take off. We can all feel it that this country is about to take off. Just give them 5 to 10 years, they will take off. And then to see the country that's been holding Burkina Faso and Traore's people down for so long, which is France, come out and say, like, because they control the media, they control the narrative, that he's a dictator, he's stealing the gold for himself. These people don't like him, that they need to go help his people overthrow him. And everyone can see through this. This is 2025, for God's sake. This is not 1960. There's social media. People can communicate faster.
It's not 1860. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah, everybody can see through this. Most Africans in the globe are supporting Traore. They're ready to sacrifice their life for this guy. They're telling you, like, this is not Gaddafi. This is not what you think you did to Gaddafi. Leave these people the fuck alone. The gods of countries like of the French president, and especially like the US getting involved trying to send a military general who's actually Black American, trying to send him to go liberate the people of Burkina Faso from Traore. It's just so disappointing. And to see that the media narrative about this whole thing, because like I said, the Western media is stronger than any media in the world, most parts of the world. Yeah. To see that the Western media is there projecting this news and trying to make sense of why America and France needs to go into that country and liberate the people of Burkina Faso is so disturbing and is so stupid. And I'll just quickly touch on some of the things that have happened in recent time. They've been like 19 to 20 attempted assassination on the same guy that's stealing gold, that is a dictator.
Yeah, like they try to turn like his best friend, and then his just went up and was like, hey, I've been offered $11 million to kill you. And then he's just like, fuck them white people. And then I just imagine just the coolest dap. They just dapped each other up and like, yeah.
Because those guys beside him believe in the gold. They believe, and the thing they don't understand about Burkina Faso is that they've had someone similar to this guy, I think in the 60s. His name was Thomas Sankara. Yeah. And the people fell for the propaganda, the Western media propaganda. It's like, Thomas Sankara is a dictator, you don't need him, you need a democratically elected leader. And the people fell for it. And he was assassinated by his friend.
Okay.
And the people suffered for years, and they're like, wow, we regret doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then now you're coming to sell the same ideology to them, like, Traore is this, and they're like, nah.
Absolutely.
We're done. Because
trusted you last time.
The little things he's doing in the country is amazing. I watched a documentary put together by this Ghanaian YouTuber who showed the tomato plants he's building in his country, and he's constructing roads. He's telling like the French construction company that he told them, I'm not going to give you guys any contract anymore. He nationalized the roads ministry and all that, and then got normal Burkina Faso people involved in building their own roads. If you want to make this road work, you need to get involved. You want to build housing for people of Burkina Faso, you get involved. Then now the crazy thing is doing like some little things is altering that's really mind blowing. It's like telling now most of the kids are not even wearing, because back from where I come from, we wear Western uniforms in school.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like now you're not wearing Western uniform. You need to wear the locally made traditional clothes.
Oh, that's cool.
And now like the kids are going up with pride. And it takes 5 to 10 years to have hundreds of kids like him, that thinks like him, that thinks in a nationalistic way. And that's what I think France is trying to uproot the colonial mentalities people developed over time. Which was an unconscious thing they did. It wasn't intentional. It's trying to uproot it. And what it's trying to do is like, we need to do things our own way. We need to integrate our culture into what we do. We need to be hardworking. We need to build these roads. We need to build these tomato plants. We need to even build more. And I think his recent meeting with Putin, with Russia, reflected that, because he didn't go to Russia to be like, can you give me money? Can you give me loan? The meeting was more around, we need universities like that.
Yeah, like he's the same guy that was like, hey, France, get out. And then a week later announced that they found oil.
I think that's him. Yeah.
And that's such a powerful move. Just like, hey, get out. We're about to become rich.
Yeah. And it nationalized their gold industry. So now they have a gold processing mine. That's what it's called. They process their gold locally and sell at standard international price. They have manufacturing companies. All of a sudden, ISIS is trying to sneak into their borders. All of a sudden, and then it's like bomb the shit out of them.
Yeah, well,
it's like no one escapes.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know. So it's just so many things that is happening. And when you go on social media, I'm glad to see that a lot of people are seeing through the whole bullshit. And I would, if I was on the other side of the table with France and their politicians, I'll be advising them to start working with their former colonies in Africa, because even if it doesn't happen now, I'm seeing a generation of Africans that will be like, we're all tired of this shit. And there's nothing France will be able to do about it. No. The best option they have right now is start collaborating with those people. How do we work together? I think that's
what you're saying is that Burkina Faso needs to stop, collaborate, and listen?
No, I'm saying France. I think Burkina Faso is addressing.
Burkina Faso is back with a brand new.
Look. I think France needs to understand that it is not as powerful as it used to be in the past, and someday some of these countries will rise, regardless of what you do. Yeah. It might not even be this guy. It could be in 20, 30 years' time. They would rise. And you don't want to be seen as that country they don't want to work with. It's like you've already done damage to them. What you can do right now is damage control. It's also sad to see that the parliament in France is discussing the fact that the reason why most of these countries are rising up is because of Macron, that Macron didn't do his job well, that they need to get leaders that would get back their colonies. And it's like, you're probably telling people, the entire world, that you're still colonizing this country,
Yeah, which is crazy, given France's predilection for protest.
Yeah.
Like, you remember the farmers' uprising last year, where, like, just before the Olympics, there was farmers traveling into Paris to lay horse shit and, like, cow manure and everything along all of the streets.
Oh, yeah?
And at protest because they were against some regulations that the government was trying to bring in.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
France sets Paris on fire every 2 to 3 years in protest. Like, they are such huge... France loves a revolution. Made famous.
They love it, right?
Like, they love it, and like, it is such a huge thing. And for them to be the two sides, like, we are very proudly anti-noble and anti this. We have a president. We haven't had a king for a long time, since someone said something about some cake. And then to also still be charging African countries taxes, and saying that this is benefits of colonization. Yeah. Fuck you, dude. You're such a hypocrite.
Yeah. So, to conclude this, my view after watching the documentary that I saw the other day is the people are tired, and it's not just the younger ones, the older ones that saw everything. And some of them that witnessed Thomas Sankara are still alive, and they regretted why they let that happen to Thomas Sankara, and they know all the patterns. So if you go to the streets of Burkina Faso right now, the older and younger people, most of them teamed up, and what they do right now is they turn themselves to security watch in the nighttime.
Yep.
They are actually protecting the entire the government house.
That's cool.
They take turns. It's like, now you're not coming to take this guy from us.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, we would protect him till, like, people are taking shift. I heard the other time there's over 1,000 people. Yeah. They're taking turns. And you know what's interesting is when you dig into social media and see other Africans from different countries, from Nigeria, it's like people are calling from Ghana. It's like, I want to come join your army. I want to help you out. Like, all the Africans are like, fuck my own leader. I want to come help you.
Yeah.
To see that is also amazing. And I think in the long run,
I think I read something the other day. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think that it has started a little bit of a chain effect in Africa of people kicking out France.
Yes. So there's three countries that's already kicked out France. They call the Sahel Alliance. It's I think it's Burkina Faso and Mali and Niger. I don't know if I'm correct, but it's three of them, and they have this policy where it's attack one, attack the three of us.
Yeah.
And he's
I read that it was like up to 8 different countries that are
now
kicking out.
Now Ghana is making efforts to kick. I don't know what Ghana is trying to do, but I think they're making. But Senegal, it took them a while before they were able to kick out France because they operate. They always said that, look, we operate a democratic system. It's not like Burkina Faso that this guy can wake up in one day and just make a policy. For us, it's like we have to go to parliament, so it's a bit slow. And the leader of Senegal is a very young guy. You could see that he really wants to make moves. It's like, this parliament is slowing me down. So, but his party, I think, won the majority in Senegal, and they were able to kick France out. They told France, like, leave. And many countries are discussing it. It's like, look, people are done, and people are like, we would rather die than to continue like this, because when you in your media in the West, you curse us as being lazy, as not being able to govern ourselves, as being corrupt.
I love how it's my media as well. Like, you don't fucking live here as well. Awesome. Just blame the white dude in the room. Thanks, man.
I'm sorry if it's hitting you like that, but I didn't point fingers at you.
Your media, right?
I said in the Western media, and you in your head is like your media, right? But look, see, I put it this way. I've always said there's good and bad in everywhere. There's a lot of good white people. There's a lot of bad white people. There's a lot of good Africans. There's a lot of bad Africans. That's how I see it. And I always said it that the Western government, especially the bad elements in them, would not be able to dominate or infiltrate Africa the way they're doing if they don't have allies, African allies. Sometimes in the opposition, sometimes as militant groups and all that. They would not be able to do that if they don't have allies. And some of the biggest problem we have in Africa is those allies. And that's why Traore, the first thing he did was arrest some of them, ban some of them, and silence the other ones.
Yeah.
And that's difficult in places like Senegal. And I think there's a president, I don't know if it's the president of Namibia, I'm not sure. One of them was also saying, look, it's really tough. I want to get things running, but this opposition party slows down everything I do. Yeah. So
the opposition be oppositioning too hard.
Yeah, they need power. So if they have to side with Western governments to frustrate the other guy that's trying to do right, they will. Just a good thing to see. I think it's a bit of fresh air in Africa to see that one or two leaders are standing up.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I think it's interesting times that we're in. Like, I think it's a great time to do what Ibrahim's doing. Like, I mean, Trump is too busy trying to defund CIA and like and cut their funding, and they're busy trying to get him a tour of Dallas. You know?
Yeah. I think that's a topic we need to touch on a little bit before we Trump.
Yeah.
Trump and two things I would like to touch on with the Trump thing is before we try and round up is first, like you said, him defunding the CIA, the AIDS program they have, and all that.
Yeah, that's huge. Like in all over the world, but like especially hitting hard in South Africa and Joburg and stuff like that. Where like where AIDS clinics are just being shut down and there's no way of funding them. When Bill Gates comes in and stands up and be like, hey, what you're doing is a terrible idea, then Elon Musk gets on Twitter and complains about it, being like, no, you're just trying to do bad things yourself. You're behind the poison shots. Like, no, I'm just trying to help people.
I believe both of them.
Yeah, how?
I believe both of them, bro.
You can't say that.
I believe both of them. I think first, this is my view, and I'm not supporting. It's not because I'm a Trump supporter. I'm not. I'm a centrist at all time, and I say, but here's my thing: they should not give aid to any part of the world. It's going to do two things. Some countries would suffer. Some countries will learn to stand on their 2 feet. But in addition to that,
Yeah.
if you don't give aid to those countries, then don't interfere in their politics. That is where America gets it wrong. It's like
100%.
you don't give aid and then you try to manipulate and don't interfere. If you know you keep interfering, then maybe give aid and don't expect them to pay back because you're the one that put them in that shit in the first place. Yeah, but don't give aid, and countries should learn to stand on their feet and tell America and them to fuck off. Like, you're not giving me aid, I don't owe you shit. You try to do, I'll fight back. So I'm not coming from the same angle with Tom, but I think I support the ideology of not giving aid to any country, 100%. And to the Elon and Bill Gates thing, Elon has really lost me in the past couple of months.
I would hope so, yeah.
Elon has lost me, bro. I don't know. He doesn't know what he's doing, bro. That guy is full of shit. Bill Gates, on the other hand, for decades, I can speak from being a Nigerian and someone that, for decades has been coming to Africa to test some of the whatever they invented in the lab. And my ideology about Bill Gates has always been, about this thing has always been, go to Africa and teach them how to use Microsoft and build, Microsoft companies. Stop talking about vaccines in Africa. You're not a scientist. You're not a medical expert.
He's not the one giving the shots personally. He's not there developing the shots. He's created a fund to create these things. He's not there to give the shots. It's not like he's in there in a fucking gown.
Nah. Bill Gates doesn't care about Africans. Bro, I'm telling you, as someone who sees through the left and right wing and someone who's neutral, he doesn't care about Africans. Bill Gates cares about selling his vaccine. Bill Gates has invested heavily in that shit. I think if Bill Gates really wants to do well for Africans, he should go build more Microsoft sites in Africa. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him talk about vaccines. Elon is not like an angel himself, so I don't want to talk about Elon. I want to focus on Bill Gates. I think the Gates Foundation has some good intentions, but also they've tried to project Africa as the continent that needs help. I don't really think Africa needs help. I think Africa needs individuals like Gates to go there and try and empower some of our technocrats and all that. Tell them to stand on their feet. If he really cares, that's what he should be doing.
So like a Microsoft tech fund to help young entrepreneurs and
he would also expand his business. It could be a branch of Microsoft in Africa. It will make more money. Stop selling vaccine. Who cares about? Let the ones that have disease die. Like, I'm not being harsh.
You are.
I'm not.
Whether you mean to be
yes,
or not.
Yes, what I'm saying. Yes, what I'm saying. Coming from Nigeria, a lot of people actually don't have that disease. People are saying it's the media propaganda. That's why we focus on the media bias. People don't have that disease like they think. I'm not saying like in South Africa, a lot of people don't have AIDS, but they've learned to manage it. And we could argue that now that they've cut funds to supply AIDS vaccines, for instance, in South Africa, the South African government can, start looking for solutions by themselves. They are capable of doing these things. I think what we really need from the West, personally, I think what we need from the West is support and teaching Africans how to do it, like legitimately, like properly, not project us as this, influence our leaders and them to kill each other and take resources and bring it back to the West, refine it and sell to Africans or third world countries as in a high price. That's what's happening, bro.
Yeah, I imagine it's not all great. I imagine, but like he's also pledged to give away 90% of his wealth to this foundation. How would you run the foundation if, like, as you have said that Africa doesn't need him, but if he's not, but does he, but could benefit from his wealth?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he should teach Africa how to do things properly. He shouldn't be selling vaccine to them. We need him in terms of Microsoft. He should.
I agree. Nobody should be just randomly tested on.
Yeah, it's testing vaccines on Africans. I would not support that. Elon, on the other hand, I think should go focus on Tesla, man. Like,
I think Elon Musk should focus on testicles. I think he needs to just...
You're such a left-wing bully, bro. You're such a left-wing bully, bro. Bro,
that guy.
Yeah, I think Elon is doing well in terms of business, but in politics, he should stay out of politics. He did himself a disservice, like getting involved in Tom Train.
Yeah, I think he should stop working on being a dad and start working on being a father.
What does that mean, bro?
He's got so many kids, and he's a dad to so many people, and absolutely not a father. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't spend any time with his kids. He's using one as a bullet shield. You know what I mean? Like, he's a terrible person, and he should go away into a dark hole and stay.
Well, yeah, I think this is a good way to end the program for today, bro.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
For another podcast of The Handover. I'm Andrew Forsyth.
I'm TY Tunes, and please subscribe to the channel. And we're gonna keep coming up with real topics and pouring out our heart on this one. Safe.